We saw the French president meet with President Xi this week. It seemed like Macron was pretty keen for Europe to essentially stay in its own lane when it comes to some of these regional issues that we're contending with in the South China Sea.
Yeah, by all accounts, Macron was the target of Chinese flattery, and it worked a treat. He ended up saying a lot of things in China that he's now had to walk back now that he's back in France, just because he was so egregiously, under the sway of Xi Jinping, if you will, and all the flattery and all the pomp and circumstance he received there. In the end, his comments on Taiwan have given the greatest concern. His suggestion that neither France nor anyone in Europe had interest in accelerating the situation in Taiwan is a tie to your previous question, right? At this point, I think it's safe to say that Taiwan, the United States, Europe, including France, support the status quo in Taiwan. The question is, who is changing the status quo? And if you see these military responses in China and China's increasing threat on Taiwan, that's what we're trying to avoid. And so the question is, does the ambiguity in statements like coming out of President Macron make it more or less likely that China will act on Taiwan? And if you believe in fundamental principles of deterrence, then some clarity in terms of the international condemnation of attempting to solve the Taiwan issue by force, I think is helpful. So I think kind of what President Macron has done this week is counterproductive and dangerous.
And is there much ambiguity, do you think, around our own Prime Minister's decision not to attend those upcoming NATO talks? I see he's under quite a bit of pressure from some quarters to do so.
Yeah, look, I personally would love to see him there, just because the level of cooperation and the shared values between Australia and NATO is such that having an Australian voice at that table is a useful thing. On the other hand, I fully recognize that this has been an extraordinarily busy first year of travel and diplomacy for the Prime Minister. You can't attend to everything. And so I wouldn't read too much into it. But on the plus side, or the other side, I certainly would rather see greater cooperation between Australia and NATO. I think it's good that Australia was invited, and unfortunate that this time it doesn't look like it's going to work out in terms of the schedule.
Gordon Flake, appreciate you making the time. Thank you.